What's going on, guys? Today we're talking about how to use all of the extrude tools in Blender. So I'll go ahead and start by naming them off. So first we have extrude region, then we have extrude manifold, extrude along normals, extrude individual, and extrude to cursor. So we'll start with extrude region. So what this does is it just takes your faces and extrudes them like that. Typically you don't want to grab that many faces though, just grab one and then use your extrude and it'll extrude simply like this. Now this could be useful, but you'll run into some problems if you're doing some weird things. So let's say I were to extrude this way, and by the way, the shortcut for this is E. So if I want to go upwards on this, so I use the extrude again, what happens is if I select this edge here, these pieces actually aren't connected, and that's really not what we want. And to fix that, we can use our tool, extrude manifold. What that will do is we can extrude along this axis, and it will connect our geometry like this, and it helps a ton for when we're trying to keep everything clean and not have weird stuff happening. And so now we have this nice little step and the geometry is good. So the next option I'm going to talk about is extrude along normals. And what this does is if we select some random faces around here, we can pull this out and it'll extrude along their own. Now if we were to hit E, the normal shortcut, it would extrude and try to do it in weird ways. We can constrain it to x-axis, y-axis, and it would just look really weird. And we don't like that. So that's why we use extrude along normals. It'll just extrude them straight out whichever way they're facing. And now for extrude individual, I'm going to add our cells in a UV sphere. And for this, I'm just going to go ahead and knock the geometry down to like 12 so we have less so we can see. So if I were to go into edit mode, and I were to hit 3 and select these faces right here, if I extrude normally, we get this, and they all extrude as one. But if I were to use extrude individual faces, they all are extruding individually. And this is different than extrude along normals, because if I were to extrude along normals like this, it still extrudes them together, but on a group normal, like together as one. So extrude along individual can be used for situations where you want them to separate. And then the final one is extrude to cursor. This one's really fun. So basically you can just look in your viewport and click around and your faces will extrude to it. You can do lots of fun things with this. You can switch your view, and obviously this has a good chance, if you do it wrong, to create bad geometry. So if you just go over here and check face orientation, as you can see, we have some flipped normals here. Quick way to fix that is tab A and press shift N to recalculate, but that didn't quite fix it. If you hit inside, it'll flip them. So typically what you'll have to do in situations like this is go in and select, whoa, I don't want to extrude there. Let's go back to box select. Let's go ahead and select these faces. You can go to here, mesh, normals, and flip. And you typically have to do that for all of them because we messed up on the extrude to cursor. Extrude to cursor is an interesting way to extrude. It can be useful in some situations, but I find in most situations, it's best to just use the other methods unless we're doing something very specific. But yeah, that's how you use the extrude options in Blender. I think I covered them all: extrude region, manifold, along normals, individual, and extrude to cursor. You can use those in your workflows and increase your work speed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.